Welcome to July. It's a brand new month. We're almost smack dab in the middle of the year. That'll happen tomorrow at 12 noon when we're 182 and a half days in and 182 and a half days to go. It is the first day of July, 2021. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. Busy show for you. Lots to get to. If you haven't been outside yet, you'll notice there's a few more clouds out there. Not quite as warm as it was yesterday at this time. We were about 80 24 hours ago. We are at 73 right now in the Wenatchee Valley. It's also a little windy. Wind out of the west, out of the north-northwest at 17 miles an hour. And we are going to be dealing with some breezy conditions from a couple of different scenarios that are going on. One of them is some marine air that's coming in into the Puget Sound area. It's going to find those Cascade gaps, as it has a tendency to do, and pick up the wind in some locations in our viewing area. And also that massive dome of high pressure that dominated our weather has now shifted. It's over southern Alberta, and because it spins this way, it's grabbing some of that warm and unsettled weather and kind of bringing it up in our direction. They had some thunderstorms in the southeastern portion of the state overnight. We don't want to see that. We don't have a red flag warning, but the Walla Walla, Tri-Cities, Spokane area does, because they have that combination that warrants that we're not quite there yet, but we may have one. Forecast details are coming up. Busy day in the bullpen news-wise. We'll have a lot of headlines to get to you. Mariners are the kings of extra innings. They won again in extra frames against Toronto and Buffalo, but the Wenatchee Apple Sox are struggling. They're having a hard time scoring runs. We'll talk about that when we get to sports. We'll have the obscure holiday today in history, some celebrity birthdays. Mike McNaughty has got an opinion, as you know by now. The Let's Have a Blast 4th of July committee has decided to cancel all activities at Walla Walla Point Park on Sunday, with the exception of the fireworks show itself. That is a go. And Shiloh Burgess, the executive director of the Wenatchee Valley Chamber of Commerce, stopped by to explain why they made that decision. We'll have that conversation in the back half of the hour. And it's Thursday. Pretzel the dog needs a home. Pause for Pets with Megan McPherson will come your way as well. Told you it was a busy day. Let's get moving at 2.5 minutes after the hour and see what we have out there. Some of our cameras have a tendency, will be blowing around, I have a feeling, because of the wind. The cross camera is pretty well anchored down. That's the one we use more than any other camera. It's our go-to camera. Ooh, look at the bird. That's pretty cool. That's our go-to camera in case anything out there happens. And apparently it's acting a little fritzy there. It's kind of time-lapse. Good morning to the Wenatchee Valley. Let's talk about some record highs. We did it again yesterday. Record highs for June 30th that were set yesterday. Wenatchee, we got to 108, broke the old record of 102. That was set back in 1987. Ephrata got to 108, new record yesterday. Omak 114, new record yesterday. Whew, just plain warm. The high temperatures at Pangbourne Memorial Airport, where they keep track of these things over the last 5 days, have been 102, which tied a record high, 107, which was a new record, 108, which missed tying a record by just 1 degree. Then, of course, the famous 114 from 2 days ago, which was not only a new record for that date, but a new all-time record. Yesterday, 108 degrees, a new record. The record high for today is 101, set back in 1987. We'll be awfully close to that. And on top of all that, we had record warm overnight lows that we set on Monday, Tuesday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and yesterday. Yeah, I'm just trying to give you a statistical idea of how hot it has been. All right, let's go on to camera number 2. Ooh, that looks peaceful. I want to say Lake Chelan from the Lower Butte. I have confirmed from Megan that I am correct on both accounts. You can see the 3 fingers sticking out there, and that's what gave me a pretty good idea. The marina, Chelan, is in the center right of your screen. A gorgeous view there. Of course, Chelan is very popular this time of the year. All the resorts and the cabins and the Airbnbs and all that good stuff. Not to mention slide waters and jet ski rentals and the Lady of the Lake. It is a idyllic spot to kick back and cool off in beautiful Lake Chelan. Good morning to you folks up to the north. Camera number 3. Woo. Well, what is that? Oh, there we go. Oh, that's Stein's, I'm pretty sure. You can see the Cashmere Golf Course. That's my point of reference. Are those raindrops? Or is that just the camera isn't working correctly? That's what Megan tells me. Good morning to Kashmir. Good morning to our friends up north. Look at the orchards just hanging in there. Looks like the heat hasn't really affected the cherry crop a great deal. I'm going to pop on over to the Stemilt retail store and on my way up to Chelan later on today and see how good the cherries really are. I haven't had any yet this year. Good morning to Kashmir and camera number 4. Let's see if this one's working. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I want to say Hose Landing. Hose Landing. So Entiat to your left, the Columbia River, sneaking its way down towards the Pacific Ocean as we look up towards the Chelan area. A beautiful view from the Hose Landing camera. Good morning to Entiat and all you folks up there. As you can see, there are a few high clouds up there, and that camera's moving around a little bit because of the breezy conditions, and it is going to be breezy. Again, it's that combination of that marine air that's pushing through the Puget Sound. It works its way through the gaps, plus residual winds as we're at the very edge, the very southwestern edge of that big dome of high pressure, which has all been gone now from our area. Excellent views from Megan this morning. We have one slide to show for you. Everybody wants to know what the weather's going to be like for Independence Day weekend, and right now it looks pretty typical for the north central Washington area, although a little on the warm side. But for outdoor activities, and pretty much everybody goes outdoors for the 4th of July weekend, quite a bit of sunshine for everybody. A little windy at times, probably not really so much on Sunday and Monday. A lot of people are taking Monday off because, of course, the holiday falls on a Sunday. It will be a little breezy on Friday and Saturday, however, and temperatures will still be warm. We still have the excessive heat warning, which continues through Friday night and then actually through Sunday, now that I look at my notes again. So the excessive heat warning is going to last over a week. Haven't had that before. So there you go, your 4th of July weekend outlook. Okay, from the National Weather Service. That way, if you don't like the weather, you can blame the government. Like, they can control the weather. 101, which would tie a record high if we get that warm. Again, it's still mild out. 73 degrees is our temperature outside, and normally we're in the mid-50s for overnight lows, so we're off to a warm start. That's why they think we can still get up to triple digits. 66 for the overnight low tonight, very mild. If we don't get to 100 tomorrow, that'll break our long streak of what, I think 8 days in a row, at least 7, maybe even 8 days in a row. I think 7 for high temperatures at 100 or above, but then we go right back to triple digits on Sunday with warm weather, and then on Sunday for the holiday, still sunny, still hot, highs in the triple digits, slightly cooler Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It's all relative. Winds today, northwest about 9 to 14 miles an hour, gusts around 20. For tonight, northwest wind again, about 9 to 14 miles an hour, but gusts up to 30 at times tonight. And then winds on Friday, considerably calmer, about 5 to 10 miles an hour. And then no real wind expected Friday night or Saturday. The winds will be dying down. But we're going to have to deal with some breezy conditions over the next 48 hours or so. We do not have a red flag warning for Wenatchee. Other places in Washington state do, but not for north central Washington. But that may change. Last thing we need is dry lightning. Lightning is okay if it's accompanied by thunderstorms because fires can't really get going when it's pouring down rain. But if we have dry lightning, watch out. Going to take a break at 9 minutes after the hour and come back with your headlines on this first day of July. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Kids are resilient. I just love their energy. They bounce back so quickly. I love the stories they tell. I love just their charisma, their character. I love to see that subtle smile that you pull out of a kid, you know, when you start talking with them about something they really like. I just love what I do, and I can't imagine I would be as happy doing anything else.
What you're doing is ridiculous.
Well,
I mean, you might as well throw up a screen door to block the summer smoke.
sometimes it gets
When we
warm.
breathe in the wildfire smoke, we are ingesting hazardous chemicals such as acetic acid and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. A lot of bad stuff, okay?
Well, yeah, that's why we...
Cardboard ain't gonna cut it.
So...
Go to ShelinPUD.org/save today.
.73 degrees, high clouds, a little breezy. Will be pretty close to triple digits today. Could tie the record high for July 1st after setting or obliterating Record high temperatures over the last few days, and 10 minutes after the hour, here are your headlines. Because of the heat that is predicted for the 4th of July festivities, the 4th of July festivities in Walla Walla Point Park, the folks who putting that on have decided to cancel all the activities and the events except for the fireworks show itself. In addition, the park, Walla Walla Point Park, will close at 8 o'clock on Sunday night ahead of the fireworks. The executive director of the Wenatchee Valley Chamber of Commerce, Shiloh Burgess, told me how and why those decisions came about.
So the priority for us was to maintain the fireworks display because we know that people love to celebrate. We know they love to have their fireworks. We know we have extreme heat, which means we have extreme dryness, which means we have high fire potential. So I'm happy to say that that's happening. But then a new layer this year because of the COVID pandemic that occurred in 2020 and into 2021, we had this gathered, restriction, like what's that going to look like, but also just a heightened awareness of people's health. And although the weather forecast is projected to drop about 10 degrees, right, from the high of only being 102, and you have individuals out in that heat, so our volunteers, our vendors, our participants coming off of a heat wave, really it just was not the smartest thing to do. And so talking with healthcare professionals, talking with the public health district, it was really our call, and we said, you know what, we want to make sure the community has fireworks, but we also want to make sure that we don't encourage people to do unsafe things. The park will close at 8 p.m., so we'll close the gates. Law enforcement will come down. Our security staff will still be there. We will, request and make sure everybody leaves. So
What's the reasoning behind that, Shiloh, by the way?
Couple of things. One, we want to make sure that the fireworks display as it comes off is, safe distance from people. So we're following all of those regular safety precautions. But two, most people will think, well, hey, it's cooler now. Potentially I can come down, but we don't have all of the other infrastructure there. So we won't have the porta potties. We won't have the extra garbage. We won't have the extra medical. We won't have all the volunteers. And so we want to make sure that we can safely provide the fireworks display and not cause a spill out of other incidents because we weren't planned or prepared in the park. So we're asking folks to watch the fireworks from other venues, be that their home or, some folks like to enjoy it on their boat on the river if that's a safe thing for them to do, or from a barbecue. East Wenatchee has probably some of the best views of it, even not those in the park. I mean, the park's beautiful and it's wonderful to be underneath them, but there's a lot of great vantage points throughout the valley.
And don't forget, we'll be broadcasting the fireworks show Sunday night right around 10 right here on the NCW Life channel. Moses Lake police say they've seized more than 2 pounds of heroin during a traffic stop in Othello. This happened last Friday. The Moses Lake Street Crimes Unit had obtained a search warrant on the home of 19-year-old Jose Torres Moreno as part of a Moses Lake drug investigation. While working with the Adams County Sheriff's Department, the crime unit pulled over Torres Moreno's vehicle and said in a search that they turned up 2.3 pounds of heroin and $7,000 in cash. He was arrested and jailed on charges of possession of heroin with intent to deliver. A vehicle fire south of Wanapum Dam in Grant County ignited a brush fire Wednesday afternoon, burned about 5 acres. Multiple firefighting agencies responded, including the Department of Natural Resources. They brought in their helicopters. The fire was reported just after noon, and the Grant County Sheriff's Office said by 2:30 it was under control. Smoke from the brush fire and a burning travel trailer sent smoke over the highway, and that led to the brief closure of Highway 243. A 2.5-hour virtual hearing was held on Tuesday from dozens of participants, and what they're trying to do is shape the Chelan County policy on short-term vacation rentals. The practice of renting out homes for short getaways has exploded in Chelan County, and proposed new regulations would allow that to continue with code enforcement and an upper limit on new operations.
I want to emphasize to the folks here, to our constituents, that we are working on this diligently. I know that some of you are probably frustrated over the length of time it's taken, but this is not the only issue that community development in Chelan County is dealing with. We've got some other issues that we need to address that are time sensitive as well and demanding. So we're trying to find that appropriate balance here.
I just wanted to thank everyone again. I know a lot of time and energy has been put into this, and there have been some really excellent recommendations. And I know people took a lot of time to go line by line and make suggestions for us to reconsider. So I really appreciate that work. And I definitely have a ton of notes as well.
Yeah, I would echo Tiffany's comments. I do appreciate all the participation, uh, regardless of what side of the issue you're on. You know, we have been reading everything. I actually took 8 pages of notes myself today during the course of the testimony. And I just appreciate the fact that folks are wanting to participate in this process and providing that information to us. I also really appreciate the suggestions that were made specific to the lines in those certain elements of the code.
The public, meaning you,
I
has
want
until
to
tomorrow
emphasize
to submit written comments on the proposed short-term policies. About 280 written comments have already come in. Commissioners expect to discuss and possibly vote on the final document either July 13th or July 22nd. The first grants are being distributed right now from the Cascade Public Infrastructure Fund. That's a new financing tool created by Chelan County back in March to help pay for public facility projects that contribute to economic development. The fund held almost $740,000. They're going to pass it around to local cities and districts. Chelan County Economic Developmental Director Blake Baldwin explained the first allocations in the Tri-Commission meeting on Tuesday.
This is taking a certain percentage of revenues every year out of the rural counties tax, or otherwise known as the .09 tax, named after the 0.9% tax remittance that this return to the state or return to the county from the state on sales tax for economic development. These funds can be specifically used to fund an economic development office or public infrastructure related to economic development. And so the Cascade Public Infrastructure Fund this year had a balance or had a budget of $739,200, and that's based upon the formula that the Board of County Commissioners decided upon. And out of that, we had 8 applications from 6 different applicants. And these are open to cities and junior taxing districts and other public entities in Chelan County. The county commissioners appointed a advisory committee made up of representatives, either elected or executive level staff from all of the cities in the county, as well as our 3 community councils. We had a representative from the Shiloh Burgess Regional Port Authority and also the Hispanic Business Council in Wenatchee. This year, we, again, 6 projects were awarded, and I will very quickly run through that. There's the Chelan Douglas Regional Port Authority was awarded $200,000 for the Cashmere Mill Site Wood Waste Remediation Project. The Lake Chelan Reclamation District was awarded $100,000 for improvements to its lift station number 2. The city of Cashmere was awarded $50,000 for utility development on the Railroad Ave property. That's behind Cottage Avenue by the railroad tracks. The city of Leavenworth was awarded $150,000 for an economic development project for stormwater improvements in the east side of the city behind Safeway as you're entering town there on Highway 2. Shaston Water District was awarded $124,000 for industrial water safety upgrades that are a part of their capital improvement plan. And the city of Wenatchee was awarded the remaining funds of $115,200 for their Lincoln Park project, which they are calling it's a part of a greater plan for revitalizing South Wenatchee.
Wednesday marked the end of most of the pandemic restrictions. In our state, businesses can return to full capacity operation, including bars and restaurants. It's not a total free-for-all, however. Orders from the State Secretary of Health will still require masking for unvaccinated people who are indoors in public spaces, and individual businesses may still ask that their customers mask up. And large indoor events that draw more than 10,000 people also face some restrictions. Those restrictions, though, are likely to be removed by the end of this month. Broadband funding for the Aniat Valley that was sought by Congresswoman Kim Schreier has made it into the House spending bill. The earmark would set aside about $1.3 million to help the Chelan County PUD extend fiber optic cable up the Aniat Valley. That's where high-speed internet and cell service, well, it doesn't reach. A minimum of 220 homes would be served if the funding passes and the project moves forward. Schreier says the funding bill should come up for a vote in the House next month. The 8th District Democrat has sought a record amount of earmarks for infrastructure projects in central and western Washington. And finally, on this Thursday morning, congratulations to my friend Jennifer Devereaux. The leader of the Wenatchee School District's Internet Academy has been named the new principal of Westside High School. She replaces Corey Callahar, who earlier accepted a position in the district's administration office. Previously, Devereaux taught English language arts and drama at Wenatchee High School. She is a graduate of Wenatchee High School and a lifelong Wenatchee resident. The district says Devereaux will continue to lead the Internet Academy through the upcoming school year. You are now in the loop at 20 minutes after the hour. The news with Grant and Eric will come your way at 5, 6, and 10 with a preview. Here's Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News. In case you missed it this morning, Megan McPherson will have our weekly Pause for Pets feature from the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. I'll have your cooler North Central Washington weather forecast as we head into the 4th of July weekend. And in sports, Eric Granstrom will be in with the latest from the Apple Sox and Mariners. That and all the day's news coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
Thank you, Grant. Don't forget, you can also watch our news via our website. We get it up and loaded right around 5 o'clock. You can use our Facebook page to watch our news, or you can watch it on our YouTube channel so you're not locked into those broadcast times of 5, 6, and 10. And speaking of our Facebook page, that's one of the ways you can get a hold of us. You can use the Messenger app on our Facebook page. We'd love to hear from you. You can email us directly, news@ncwlife.com, or use our homepage, ncwlife.com, and you can get a hold of us that way as well. We'd love to hear from you, our viewers. 22 minutes after the hour, the Mariners are the kings of extra innings, and the Apple Sox can't get out of their own way. We're talking baseball with sports when we come back, plus the obscure holiday. Today in history, some celebrity birthdays, an opinion from Mike Magnotti, Pause for Pets, and my conversation with Shiloh Burgess. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue.
Currently, Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is open for dine-in and take-out. Owner Justin Hefner and his staff are just as excited as you to get back to their regularly scheduled full menu, music, and poker. So stay tuned. Meanwhile, Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is serving a limited menu for lunch and dinner, dine-in or take-out.
Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere, the coolest place in town.
The 2021 Grant County Fair is happening August 17th through the 21st in Moses Lake. Check out the biggest ag-based fair in Washington State as kids show hundreds of animals. Or check out some of the more famous cuisine, such as Space Burgers or Block 40 ice cream. Friday night features country sensation Parmalee on the Brian Miller stage. Saturday, check out Grupo Control. Lots of music, food, animals, and of course, a huge carnival. Head to the website at gcfairgrounds.com.
23 minutes after the hour, sports, the Mariners are pretty good. In extra inning games, they're 9-1 on this season. They did it again last night, a 3-run home run by Dylan Moore in the 10th inning. Did the difference, and they knock off the Blue Jays in Buffalo, the final 9-7. The back-and-forth ball game saw Seattle take an early lead with a 4-run third inning, highlighted by this, Kyle Seager's 14th home run of the season.
3-1. Hit hard left field again. That ball's traveling to left field, and that's gone. Big two-run shot, Kyle Seager. There must be a wind tunnel going out there to left field.
Power cord going out to left.
That is the second shot that we've seen hit out there that gets out in a hurry to left field. Two-run shot for Kyle Seager.
That's a 3-1 count right there, too, BK. No cheat to try and pull this thing, just up in the zone, peppering it, kind of following Taylor Trammell.
Seattle starter Justice Sheffield gave up the lead in the 4th inning, and then Mitch Haniger got it right back in the 5th inning.
And we have a drive to left.
And that ball is gone. Mitch Haniger with a two-run shot. Hold that thought. Haniger launches another home run.
419 feet.
He has hit for real power this year.
He's been struggling off breaking stuff, though, and been all over the heater. And this is just a breaking ball sitting in the middle of the plate, 0-0, and he destroys it.
So after 9 innings, we're tied at 6-6 to the 10th inning we go. Seattle gets 2 aboard. Up to the plate, Dylan Moore.
That ball's hit hard. Oh, wow. That ball is gone. A bomb from Dylan Moore and a 3-run blast for Seattle. These guys are 8-1 in extra innings and looking good for 9-1.
It's amazing what they've been able to do late in games. Gilmore, good to see. Getting that plus velocity.
More crushed that. Wow.
He's got some power too.
Drew Steckenrider would hold on to the lead. He gets the save. Kendall Graveman, who pitched the 9th inning, earns the win. Manager Scott Service says the bullpen, well, they deserve a lot of the credit for these late inning and extra inning victories.
We're in that spot because our bullpen, again, we've hung in there. We've had a lot of success in these extra inning games, and it's driven by our bullpen. We had to mix and match a little bit tonight. It's so focused on the meat of their order. That top of their lineup is really dangerous. And thought Paul Sewell did a heck of an inning. Gravy did a nice job to get us through it, and then, Steck finishing off. So good team win as we grind through this road trip, and hopefully can finish it off with a series win tomorrow afternoon here in Buffalo. Well, guys are starting to slow it down. That's the whole key. To be, you got to slow your heartbeat down. Everybody wants to be the hero, get the big hit, help your team win the game. And the key to that is slowing it down. Slow your heartbeat down. Get good pitches to hit. That was the whole key to the at bat with Dylan there at the end. He wasn't in a hurry. He was looking fastball, but he's looking for a ball he could drive, and he works the count to 3-1, and then he's in a fastball count, and he didn't miss it. So big night for him. He does a lot of things in the course of the game that can really help you win a game, but none bigger than hitting that 3-run homer in the 10th.
One more game for the Jays and the Mariners in Buffalo. The rubber match of the 3-game series morning game. 10:07, Yusei Kikuchi will take on Toronto's Yun Jin Ryu. All right, to the standings we go. The Yankees scored 7 runs in the first inning of the game against the Angels yesterday. They were 8-4. Yankees 8, Angels 4, heading into the 9th inning. And then New York's bullpen had an epic collapse as the Angels scored 7 runs in the top of the 9th to win 11-8, the biggest blow of a grand slam home run by Jared Walsh. My Yankees are not playing well. Baltimore scored 4 runs in the first inning and made it hold up with Houston in a 5-2 win over the Astros. And Chris Bassett threw 3 innings of 3-hit shutout ball with 7 strikeouts to lead Oakland over Texas 3-1. The A's climbed within a half game of the slumping Astros with the win. Seattle 6 games back in third. Bradley McVeigh and 4 relievers held Wenatchee to just 2 runs on 2 hits at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium last night. And the Pickles topped the Apple Sox the final 7-2. The junior out of the University of Portland pitched 5 innings of 1-hit ball. He struck out 8. Swinging and missing was the theme for the Apple Sox, as we hear from the voice of the Apple Sox, our friend Joel Norman.
The Wenatchee Apple Sox dropped Game 2 of their 3-game series against the Portland Pickles by a 7-2 score on Wednesday night at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium, and the Apple Sox are in a bit of a tough stretch right now as they've lost 5 games in a row, dropping 2 to the Pickles. On the season, Wenatchee has now lost 4 of 5 against the Portland Pickles. Both runs for the Apple Sox came across in the 9th inning as the Apple Sox drew 9 walks on the night, but only collected 2 base hits and struck out 15 times. They'll try to get the bats going on Thursday when they face the Pickles again at 7:35. With your Apple Sox update, I'm Joel Norman.
Thank you, Joel. Dakota Duffalo raised his season batting average to .311. He went 1 for 2 in the night. He had 3 walks and an RBI. Ivan Luna was the hitting star for the Pickles. He went 2 for 4 with a home run. Wenatchee saw his West Coast League record drop now to 8-12 with the loss. Portland improves to 9-8. While we saw the wind picking up overnight here in the Valley, they had a lightning in southeastern Washington and in central Oregon, and that affected a lot of baseball games last night. In fact, Walla Walla and Cowlitz will have to pick up where they left off in a 5-5 game. They were at the top of the 9th last night when lightning moved in, and they had to suspend the game. The Bend Elks left the bases loaded in the bottom of the 10th inning, and then last night's game against Corvallis suspended because of time. The game was delayed by several hours in the 3rd inning because of a lightning storm. Ridgefield had 3 homers and 20 hits in his 15-10 win over Bellingham. Taft and Hensley, Reese Hernandez, Caden Connor, Kobe Morales each had 4 hits apiece for the Raptors, including Hensley's 3rd homer of the season. And finally, Carson Crawford had a home run and a double to lead Port Angeles over Yakima Valley, 6-3. Trevor Tishenko also drove in a couple of runs for the lefties. Today's schedule looks something like this. Bend and Corvallis will pick up last night's game at 4:30 today in the top of the 11th inning with the game tied at 5-5. Walla Walla and Cowlitz will pick up their game in the top of the 9th with a runner on second and 2 outs. That'll be at 5 o'clock, and they'll play the scheduled game at 6:35 Also tonight, Ridgefield will host Bellingham at 6:35, and at 7:35, you got Port Angeles and Yakima Valley, and Wenatchee will host Portland. And the West Coast League standings up to date. Wenatchee falls back to 4th now, with Bellingham in the north, 8 and 12. Port Angeles leapfrogs up, and then Ridgefield sits 2.5 back of the Knights in the south. All right, there you go. Those are just some of the games that people are playing at 30 minutes after the hour. July 1st, four obscure holidays to choose from. First of all, happy Canada Day. I should have done that at the beginning. I'm sorry to my Canadian friends. It's Canada Day. We'll get to that in a minute. International Joke Day, National Ginger Snap Day, but no, today is National Postal Worker Day. We love our postal workers, and there's a reason why it's July 1st, and we'll get to that in a little bit. Fun facts about the Postal Service. The Postal Service, of course, is funded entirely by the sale of services, products, and postage. Tax funds are not used at all. Zero tax dollars are not used. Over 40,000 automobiles in the fleet of the United States Postal Service. Almost all of them use ethanol. Every day, the Postal Service processes and delivers 472 million pieces of mail, give or take a couple. USPS.com has over 7 million unique visitors every day, and that makes it the most frequently visited government website. In 2019, the Postal Service sold about $300 million worth of stamps. The United States Postal Service is in the Constitution. Section 8 of the U.S. Constitution says we're going to have a postal service. The Postal Service uses 150,000 desktop computers, 31,000 notebook computers, 86,000 printers, 23,000 smartphones, 310,000 handheld scanners, and they have 250,000 phone lines. I don't mind the Postal Service. I love third-class mail because you can throw it in the garbage. It's the first-class mail with the little windows that says, please remit. Those are the ones I don't much care for. Happy National Postal Worker Day. All right, today in history, oh, Canada. Yeah, Canada. The British North American Act takes effect as the provinces of Canada, New Brunswick, and Nova Scotia join in Confederation for Canada. So it is Canada Day. It's their Independence Day, so to speak. Fun facts about Canada. Canada not only has some of the largest lakes in the world, they have the most lakes in the world. 62% of all the lakes on this planet are in Canada. It helps that it's really big. Canada and the United States have the largest demilitarized border in the world. I think we probably knew that. More than half of all Canadians have college degrees, and that makes Canada the world's most educated nation. The most played sport in Canada, the most played sport that Canadians participate in, golf, followed by ice hockey. And the national sport of Canada is, as you might imagine, lacrosse. Happy birthday to our friends, Canada. Joltin' Joe did it. Yeah, 80 years ago today, as a matter of fact. Doubleheader at Yankee Stadium, July the 1st, 1941. The Yankees swept the Red Sox 7-2 and 9-2. Joe DiMaggio had 2 hits in the first game, 1 in the second game, and he ties Wee Willie Keeler for the all-time Major League record of hitting in 44 consecutive games. We will hear again from Joe on Friday. Happy birthday to the zip code. This is why it's National Postal Service Day today. Yeah, I'm a National Postal Service worker because zip codes went into effect on this date in 1963, 58 years ago today. What does ZIP stand for? It's an acronym. It stands for Zone Improvement Plan, and it's one of those government things that actually worked. When everybody started using zip codes, you started getting your mail a lot quicker than ever before. By the way, in one of those oopsie moments, the United States Postal Service trademarked the term zip code, and then when a band wanted to call themselves the Zip Codes in 1998, the Postal Service said, you can't do that, we own the trademark, and the band said, no, you don't, because you let it expire, and they did. They forgot to renew it. Oops. There's Mr. Zip. Happy birthday to the Zip Code. Happy birthday to the Walkman. The Sony Walkman was introduced. There it is. On this date, July the 1st, 1979, 42 years ago today, I had one, as you might imagine. The Walkman sold for $150, which was a small fortune. It's the equivalent of $500 today. Sony was very pessimistic. They predicted they would sell about 5,000 Walkmans in the first month. They sold 50,000 Walkmans In the first month, they were the thing to have in the early 80s. And by 1983, it was the first year that cassettes outsold records for the first time because of that. The Sony Walkman, which is 42 years ago today. And this will blow you away. 41 years ago today, Oh Canada, Oh Canada, became the national anthem of Canada. It was written in 1880. They always thought it was, and then somebody said, you know, it's not actually officially our national anthem. Maybe we should make it official. And on July 1st, 1980, 100 years after the song was actually written, Oh Canada became the national anthem of Canada. Well, better late than never. And by the way, it's a really good national anthem. It's one of my all-time favorites. Musically speaking, far superior to the Star Spangled Banner. 36 minutes after the hour, birthdays. We lost Olivia de Havilland just about a year ago, last July, at the age of 104. She was the last surviving member of the crew that made the film Gone with the Wind. She played Melanie Hamilton in Gone with the Wind. Really good. She won 2 Academy Awards, by the way, for Best Actress. Olivia de Havilland would have been 105 on this date. Always known as Maxwell Q. Klinger, the iconic character in MASH. Jamie Farr is 87 years old today. Jamie Farr actually served in the Army in Korea, just not during the Korean War, ironically enough. We lost David Prowse last November. He, of course, was the guy inside the Darth Vader costume in Star Wars. When they were filming the movie, he would do the lines of Darth Vader, and then they were later overdubbed by James Earl Jones. He had a falling out with Lucasfilm. They said he couldn't go and be Darth Vader anymore. David Prowse would have been 86 years old today. He died last November. Dan Aykroyd, 69 years old today. Saturday Night Live, The Blues Brothers, Trading Places. He wrote and helped produce Ghostbusters, Driving Miss Daisy. Great talent. Dan Aykroyd, 69 years old today. And Carl Lewis is 60 years old today, considered the greatest track and field athlete of the 20th century. In fact, he was voted the greatest track and field athlete by the International Olympic Committee. In 1999, he has a car full of medals. Carl Lewis is 60, and she would have been 60 years old today. Diana, Princess of Wales, would have been 60 today. 38 minutes after the hour, we have my conversation with Shiloh Burgess of the Wenatchee Valley Chamber of Commerce, talking about all the changes that's going to be taking place Sunday at Walla Walla Point Park with the Let's Have a Blast July 4th celebration. But first things first. Oh, we also have an opinion from Mike McNaughty. First things before any of that stuff, Pretzel the dog needs a home. It's Pause for Pets with Megan McPherson.
Hey everyone, Megan here with the NCW Life Channel. We are here with Jenny, the volunteer coordinator at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, and Pretzel is joining us this week. Can you tell us about Pretzel?
I sure can. It's really hard not to fall in love with Pretzel when you meet him. He basically loves everyone he meets. He's an older guy, we think about 8 years old. He came to us as a stray. He absolutely loves dogs around here, so he goes to one of our biggest play groups. I think there's 6 dogs in his play group. So the guy is super friendly, loves dogs. He's all around a really good-natured dog. So when he sees us, he likes to jump up, so he just needs a little work on jumping up when he's too excited to see us. He also likes to let us know when we don't get him out, that he would like us to get him out, so he'll bark at us and but he is just an awesome older guy. He's a little rough looking around the edges, like he's probably lived a little bit of a harder life, but I kind of think it makes him even more endearing.
Yeah. And what should someone do if they want to adopt Pretzel?
Pretzel's ready to go today, so they just need to call the shelter at 662-9577 and come on down.
The Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is located at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue and is open by appointment only. Call them at 509-662-9577 to schedule a meet and greet or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org.
For more than 56 years, Crown Furniture and Mattress has been serving North Central Washington with the same principles we were founded on, offering the best quality, great value, incredible comfort, honesty, integrity, and of course, made in the USA. Because so much of our inventory is made in America, it has alleviated a lot of the shortages companies are experiencing nationwide. We are overstocked and ready to deliver. So stop by and see us today or visit us online at www.crownfurnitureandmattress.com.
Hi, I'm Chuck Dronan, Managing Member at Eplodolin Retirement and Assisted Living. It's been a tough year for all of us, but especially for those working and living in senior care facilities. Over the course of these many difficult months, our staff at Eplodolin has been vigilant in adhering to federal and state guidelines to protect and assure the safety of our residents and their caregivers. If you're in need of assisted living for a loved one, give us a call at Eplodolin. We're here for you.
This is Mike, Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, recently at a vacation house we were renting, my grandson, he broke a lamp. Well, it was an expensive lamp. I had to pay $100 to replace the doggone thing. I figured, well, no big deal, stuff happens. But then I realized the huge difference in reaction I would have had if my son Tony had broken the lamp. Had Tony been the culprit, I would have been angry and upset. A much different emotional reaction than I had when it was my grandson. But it's not that I love my grandson more than I do my son. They're both great human beings. And maybe I'm just older, and sometimes that just explains the varying emotional reactions I have to my grandkids opposed to those I felt with my kids. But whatever it is, grandkids are just different than your kids. Yeah, they are. This is Mike, Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Happy summer from Collins Fashions in downtown Wenatchee. We are truly prepared for warm days with shorts, skirts, capris, short sleeve tees, tanks, and sandals. We have special occasion dresses, jumpsuits, tops, and slacks for your upcoming event. Our Tommy Bahama department for men and women are summer favorites. New fall fashions are arriving daily. Brighton is releasing new summer collections of jewelry and handbags to enhance your wardrobe. We have amazing service and selection at Collins, where fun meets fashion in downtown Wenatchee.
Doghouse Motorsports just won Best Motorsports Store for the 7th year in a row. Is it the great facility? Is it the fantastic products? Or is it?
I'm Bobby.
And I'm Tabor.
I'm Mike. And I'm Glenn.
Hi, I'm Todd.
I'm Jeff.
And this is the Doghouse Service Team.
Hi, I'm Dee.
And I'm Dwayne.
And I'm Kathy.
Come on in and experience the Doghouse.
Are you in the Doghouse?
Badger Mountain Brewing is proud to announce the grand opening of our new kitchen. Come try out our new menu featuring fabulous steaks, prime rib, gourmet burgers, and seafood grilled up by experienced meat master Chef Galen Goodman. To complement your mouth-watering meal, Badger Mountain Brewing features 14 in-house crafted beers, an alcohol-free root beer infused with 11 different herbs and spices, 3 different ciders, and a great wine selection. Don't miss out on the best meats and the best brews down at Badger Mountain Brewing, located at 1 Orondo Avenue across the tracks from the Pybus Market.
On Sunday, the United States of America turns 245 years old. She's looking pretty good for 245, and one way or the other, we're going to be celebrating here in the Wenatchee Valley. The fireworks are going to be exploding. There'll be music. What there won't be is everything else. Just as we got through the COVID thing, Mother Nature puts a kibosh on most of the things that are going to be planned for Walla Walla Point Park. on Sunday for our nation's birthday. To talk about the decision-making process, what is happening and what isn't, is Executive Director of the Wenatchee Valley Chamber of Commerce, Shiloh Burgess, is back on this program. Thanks for dropping by on a very busy day for you.
Well, thank you very much for having me, and thank you everyone for tuning in today.
We kind of saw this coming a little bit. The National Weather Service about a week ago said, hey, by the way, it's going to get really hot, but maybe it'll cool down in time on July 4th, and you plowed right ahead. The COVID numbers were good, and then Tuesday afternoon, you sat down with the movers and shakers, decision makers, the Kelly's company, Impact Events, which actually is producing the show. And, well, walk me through the decision-making process of what happened.
Yeah, so we have a multi-layer process that we do every year. First, we look at the fire danger and what's happening. And so I want everyone to know that we operate under the guidance of the fire marshal. And so this is a permitted professional show. So we take in all of those safety concerns and make sure that when we light those beautiful fireworks off, that they have little risk. You can't mitigate every risk, but little risk of causing any fires in the area. And so the priority for us was to maintain the fireworks display because we know that people love to celebrate. We know they love to have their fireworks. We know we have extreme heat, which means we have extreme dryness, which means we have high fire potential. So I'm happy to say that that's happening. But then a new layer this year because of the COVID pandemic that occurred in 2020 and into 2021, we had this gathered, restriction, like what's that going to look like, but also just a heightened awareness of people's health. And although the weather forecast is projected to drop about 10 degrees, right, from the high of only being 102, and you have individuals out in that heat. So our volunteers, our vendors, our participants coming off of a heat wave, really it just was not the smartest thing to do. And so talking with healthcare professionals, talking with the public health district, it was really our call, and we said, you know what, we want to make sure the community has fireworks, but we also want to make sure that we don't encourage people to do unsafe things and stay out in that heat for a prolonged period of time. So whether they're our performers or whether they're, those folks that want to participate. So we said, we're going to just put it on hold.
It's again the prudent decision. Yeah. And my guess is, I remember talking to Edgar Reinfeld, Captain Edgar Reinfeld of the Wenatchee Police Department, when the whole thing happened last year and all we had was the fireworks show. He said this is actually good news from a law enforcement perspective because he says Independence Day is one of the busiest days, if not the single busiest day of the year for the Wenatchee Police Department, and now they don't have to worry about having a bunch of law enforcement people gathered in the park to making sure that 20,000 people are behaving themselves. Now they can concentrate on other things. My guess is a little sigh of relief from law enforcement that they don't have to worry a great deal about that now.
We had a sigh of relief from our partners that were running the beer garden, from the big band that's still going to play. They're just going to be broadcast either here on NCW Life or through Coho
Radio. Yep.
So 101.1, gotta love that. But yeah, everybody just kind of went okay because everybody has the same concern, which is making sure that everybody stays safe. And we are anticipating this is again going to be a busy year for law enforcement and most likely our EMTs and our fire personnel coming out of, the heat wave that we've been in. So we just have to make sure that everybody stays safe. So we've worked with Chelan County PUD. The park will close at 8 p.m. So we'll close the gates. Law enforcement will come down. Our security staff will still be there. We will, request and make sure everybody leaves. So
what's the reasoning behind that, Shiloh, by the way?
A couple of things. One, we want to make sure that the fireworks display as it comes off is, safe distance from people. So we're following all of those regular safety precautions. But two, most people will think, well, hey, it's cooler now. Potentially I can come down, but we don't have all of the other infrastructure there. So we won't have the porta potties, we won't have the extra garbage, we won't have the extra medical, we won't have all the volunteers, and so we want to make sure that we can safely provide the fireworks display and not cause a spill out of other incidents because we weren't planned or prepared in the park. So we're asking folks to watch the fireworks from other venues, be that their home or some folks like to enjoy it on their boat on the river if that's a safe thing for them to do, or from a barbecue. East Wenatchee has probably some of the best views of it, even not those in the park. I mean, the park's beautiful and it's wonderful to be underneath them, but there's a lot of great vantage points throughout the valley that folks can do that from.
It should be pointed out that whenever it's not a 4th of July, the Chelan County parks, all of the local parks have hard and fast opening and closing rules. Yes. Normally it's dawn to dusk. Correct. So they were already extending their hours anyway. Yes. Before this happened.
Yes.
Which puts a strain on their infrastructure as well. Okay.
Yep. So we'll have folks posted at the Haran natural areas entrance, kind of there off of Walla Walla Street. We'll have signage down by Linden Tree and everywhere else, and then the gates for vehicles will be closed, so folks won't be able to be in the park at 8. And we'll ask people to leave the park prior to that. So all of the staff and the folks that need to be there to make sure that everything goes well with the show and everything gets, tightened up after the show will still be on site. So there will be some folks in the park that night, but the majority of the folks will not be. So all of our other volunteers will be probably spending it with their family.
I would assume so. In years past, the Wenatchee Valley Symphony Orchestra provided the musical accompaniment live from the park. Last year it was a pre-recorded deal. This year it's the Wenatchee Big Band are going to be performing the music that will go off in conjunction with the fireworks. There's a reason for that. Number one, is the big band actually going to be there, or is it pre-recorded as well, like the symphony was last year?
Yeah, so we're looking at sound quality, trying to figure that out. My guess is it's going to be pre-recorded. We're going to do whatever's going to provide the best show for the listeners and the timing of the fireworks. It's really amazing what the pyrotechnician Kylie Boggs does in terms of looking at that score of music and when the fireworks explodes and which fireworks does it. And so we want to make sure that everything can stay timed. And it's really hard to do that when she isn't able to see and call the show with the conductor or the leader of that band. And so likely we will pre-record that, but those decisions haven't quite been made at the airing of this broadcast in terms of how that's going to look. But yes, you'll still be able to listen to the music live from wherever you are, which is wonderful. We're so excited that the big band has stepped in this year. I think they're going to do an awesome patriotic performance for us. They're very excited to be a part of it, so it's a wonderful opportunity for us and for them.
What have you heard from your primary sponsors? I mean, some of them are in-kind sponsors, others wrote big fat checks.
Yeah, well,
are they okay with all this? I mean, they must understand.
Springwater Insurance Group says, I'm in, I'm still in, and we are so grateful. He's our title sponsor this year. That whole team has been with us every step of the way, understanding the risk even with COVID. I mean, we could have had to cancel everything totally together. And then Salcedo Enterprises and Salcedo Connection, they were our stage sponsor. They're still very excited. I mean, they're a big part of why we have the big band and the connection with Coho and NCW Life, and so Malachi and his team have been incredibly gracious. And then, of course, we still have the City of Wenatchee, City of East Wenatchee. They help oftentimes with the public health and safety response pieces, and so I'm happy to say that we are still able to fund everything. We won't go into debt because of this, so that's great. And then a big thank you to our vendors that have hung in with us. Our food vendors have to order food, and so they were waiting, and they've just been so wonderful. We've been very communicative and understanding just kind of the weird temperament of the year. We're worried about, the S word. I don't want to say it in case it might happen, any plumes in the sky, but it was the heat wave that just really just wiped us out.
Nobody likes to be out in the heat for that length of period of time, regardless. They just don't. It just beats you down. And
we set up, at 6, 7 a.m. with those vendors, right? Get them there, and then the other, if we had political vendors or those kind of things that were coming, they'd come later in the day. But that means they're there from, let's just say, 8 in the morning until 11 at night, and then they've got to tear down. So it's a really long day to be exposed in the elements, even on a regular hot July day. But it's the compounded effect, right? It's everybody. I don't know about you, but being out in the heat, it's like, man, I'm just feeling a little bit more tired each day. It's like the Energizer Bunny or the wind-up toy. It's like, a little bit, and just going into Sunday, we're like, this is just a potential disaster that we don't need to cause.
It really wasn't a lot of thought putting into the decision that had to be made. Again, the most important part, the fireworks show is on with Ms. Boggs and her professionals. I had a chance, of course, to interview her a couple of times. She's really good at what she does. And you can help out. We've talked about this before. We still have the ability to build up enough in the kitty that the Community Foundation North Central Washington can invest that, and just on the interest alone, we can self-fund this thing in perpetuity. I'll let you handle that, Shiloh, please.
Yeah, we would love it. We send out small business letters. We have a lot of small businesses that contribute every year. We have a lot of community members that contribute. So if you're interested in supporting the fireworks, I tell people if everybody just in this whole region donated $1 every year, this thing would be fully funded, right? And then we'd be able to build that kitty and then just self-fund it. And so we encourage folks to make a donation, even if it's $5. If you have 5 people in your family, walk down to the Community Foundation, slap $5, send it to them in a check, just put 4th of July on it, and they'll get into the account. But we're grateful for all of our individual sponsors, all of our business sponsors every year, everybody that does the in-kind, everyone that comes together to make this happen. I view it as the best insurance policy we can provide for our region to prevent wildfires, self-caused wildfires that may cause catastrophic damage or worse, take someone's life. And so please be safe this 4th of July. Keep yourself hydrated. Look after your pets. Look after your small kiddos. Wear the sunscreen. Hydrate. Especially the pets. Keep them someplace safe. Those fireworks can scare them, and some of them run off. It's a busy day for animal control as well, and so have them tagged. Just keep everybody safe and throw a few bucks in the kitty, as you like to say it.
That's
and
right.
We'll keep this thing going and be ready for next year with entertainment and everything. We're going to get back to it.
One of these days. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Friendly reminder, if you're going to watch it with your own naked eyes from your deck anywhere in the North Central Washington area, Coho 101.1 will be broadcasting the music that will go in conjunction with the fireworks. And we will be taking the Coho feed for our television broadcast, which will begin about 9:50 or so. Once again, we'll be on the roof of the Town Toyota Center for the fifth year in a row. Thank you to Mark and Chris for allowing us to do that. That gives us a bird's eye view. So if you can't, watch it. If your naked eye, you can watch it on the NCW Life channel. We'll take to the air at about 10 minutes to 10. And the fireworks display will begin at about 4 or 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. You want it completely dark to get the best visual aspect, both on television and in real life. Shiloh, I know you're super busy. I'll let you go back to the office. And thanks for dropping by and seeing us.
Thank you very much for having me, and everybody have a wonderful and safe 4th of July holiday.
You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Highlander Golf Course is proud to announce their 2 new state-of-the-art full-swing golf simulators with over 80 courses of virtual golf to choose from year-round. Or try their Laser Shot simulated firearm program, or gaming with football, basketball, and much more. Enjoy Highlander food and drink service from their full-service bar and grill in the comfort of their simulator room. Call the Highlander Pro Shop to book your time at 884-4653. That's 884-4653.
Green Motion e-bikes have rolled into Wenatchee. We've got fun, affordable e-bikes for the whole family. Portable e-bikes that fit right in the trunk of your car. Fat tire mountain bikes plus unique vintage style bikes you won't find anywhere else. Get some exercise with pedal assist or just cruise up to 20 miles per hour with the throttle. Starting under $1,000, Green Motion e-bikes are affordable fun for the whole family.
Let's face it, selling your good used vehicle can be a hassle, if nothing else. Consign your vehicle here at Global Elite Motors. When you do, you'll get the best possible price because of our proprietary selling system. We offer the ability to finance, add warranties, take trade-ins, and much, much more. Each consignment vehicle we represent is thoroughly inspected and marketed to attract qualified buyers. Let us help sell your quality vehicle. Buying a vehicle? Consigning a vehicle? Stop by Global Elite Motors on Wenatchee Avenue at Global Car Care.
Introducing Alpine Airman. Because every home needs a superhero to eliminate poor indoor air quality, send inefficient operating equipment packing, and cut high energy bills down to size. For heating or cooling and equipment replacement, turn to the experts and the superheroes at Carrier and Alpine Air. We offer the best deals on high-efficiency Carrier products, along with friendly, knowledgeable service and incredible savings to fit your budget.
75 degrees, a little breezy outside of our studios here in downtown Wenatchee. While we throw up the slide one more time to talk about the 4th of July weekend outlook, which looks very pleasant indeed, if a tad on the warm side. Once again, a refresher of what we talked about at the top of this program. We hit 108 yesterday, which shattered the old record high of 102 for June 30th, which was set back in 1987. So for the last 5 days, the high temperatures as officially measured at Payne-Bourne Memorial Airport, 102, which tied the record high, 107, which was a new record, 108, which was almost a new record, 114, the all-time new record, 108 yesterday, which is a new record, and by the way, the record high for today, July 1st, 101, set back in 1987. And as we look at the forecast from the National Weather Service, that is exactly our forecast high for the day today. 101. If we get there, we would tie our record high. It's been a record-breaking, sweltering few weeks and few days indeed. A little wind today, northwest wind about 9 to 14 miles an hour, gusts above 20 at times. Clear and breezy tonight, 68 for the overnight low. Little windy on Friday, really probably not as much as today, still hot, 99, slightly cooler, and then we're going to warm back up again. On Saturday, July 3rd, 103, very little wind. Independence Day proper, 102 with very little wind, slightly cooler on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It is July. It is summertime. That is to be expected. Again, the excessive heat warning remains in effect until the end of the weekend. So the excessive heat warning lasting a grand total of like 8 days. Still hard to believe. Be good, be safe, stay cool. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.